guys. Me tonight. You guys today. It's really amazing that we've had this journey with the Luminous product since 2009, and we've come here, and now we're part of Velavida, and I'm here with my colleague, Dr. Joe Papa, and we were just talking about how amazing it is that we're bringing this great technology to you, and how much has changed over the last 10 years, and how we can update everything. And with Gary Costa, the new leader, that's amazing, and I'm honored to know him, and call him a friend. We're really bringing the next generation of sort of regenerative medicine to you guys. This is something that most companies can only dream of. So I'm really honored to be here, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about aging, what causes aging, and how our products are really going to benefit you. So aging is, there we go, is really due to multiple factors. One of them is the environment. The environment is sun rays, how you live, how you sleep, what you eat. All of your activities affect how your health is and how well you will age. There's certain things that happens in the body that cause you to age a little bit faster. Some of it is called glycation, which is really the sugars that get stuck in between the collagen that's in your skin and makes that collagen sort of stuck together and leathery. It looks all wrinkled up. And then you have oxidation. Oxidation is when you break down through the oxygen that's in the air or in your cells, the skin tissues or the cells get damaged because it doesn't have a way to clean it up. Then you have senescence. So this is a relatively new concept. Normal cells are active. They're doing normal activity. With senescence, they become lazy. They just don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. And all I heard this morning is, don't quit, keep doing it, don't worry about it. We need to tell ourselves the same thing, right? We need to tell ourselves to renew, because every day things are breaking down and things need to be restored. And what happens with senescence, your cells are lazy. Not only they don't want to do it, they tell everybody else around them, don't do anything, don't do the work. And your body speeds up the aging because they're not doing it, they're not repairing, they're not renewing. So what happens with skin aging is, or aging in general, what happens is that you don't see it in a day. It takes decades for you to see the changes in your skin. Those changes happen slowly, and you see changes like wrinkles, skin discoloration, loss of elasticity, the texture changes, and you look like the skin is not as healthy and smooth as it was when you were younger. The other thing that happens, which is the most important thing, is the loss of cellular balance. That means the cells are not functioning the way we want them to. We will talk about all these things as we sort of bring the science to, which is about telomeres, which are the things that are at the end of our genes that keep the genes going and making it healthy. Methylation, oxidation, inflammation, all of these things come together and wreak havoc on the balance of your body and inside the cells themselves. So when you're not in balance, things are not healthy. And when they're not healthy, they can't function. So we want to make sure we bring cellular balance. So one of the things that brings that cellular balance, one of the things that is very, very important about staying healthy and staying alive are stem cells. Stem cells in Spanish are called mother cells. Mother cells or stem cells are the cells that are there to basically replace, replenish, restore, and renew and repair damaged cells. And what happens is every part of us is being renewed. Every part of our body is being renewed with stem cells. Your hair grows because of your stem cells. Your skin renews because of stem cells. Your nails grow because of stem cells. So stem cells are vital for our health and for our longevity. What happens with stem cells and aging is that there are more cells in your body that are being damaged and need to be replaced over the years than we have stem cells. If we were able to replace every cell that's damaged with a new cell through the stem cells that we have in our body, you would never age. But that's not what happens. More cells are breaking down, and what happens with all these things that we talked about, the cellular imbalance and senescence and telomeres and oxidation, it accelerates the breakdown, so you have more cells breaking down than it can be repaired, and you see aging speed up. We want to not only slow down that aging, we want to even reverse that aging process. So this is a very important part of what we want to do with our cells and our health. I'm going to give you a little background of how I got into stem cells and why this is such a big passion of mine. About 25 years ago, I was one of the few doctors in the world who was actually using stem cells from your own body in my clinic to treat people. And this gentleman, his name is Herzl, he walked into my office, he said, listen, I had a cancer, it was removed, they did radiation, I got a big hole in my face, I'm in constant agony, I have my nerves trapped in the scars, I've gone to all the doctors and all the universities, they can't help it because every time they inject it or cut it, my skin doesn't have the blood flow and it starts to die and they have to stop doing the procedure. I heard you do stem cells, can you help me? And I wasn't sure at the time what I would be able to achieve using stem cells. So I said I will try, and I started injecting him. It took me 2 years with 8 injections. Every 3 months he would come, I would get his cells and I would inject it for him. And within that time, his skin was restored, the burn from the radiation was gone. His pain was gone. His jawline was back. His skin was supple and moving like normal. And I realized it was stem cells that was doing this, and I understood the power of the stem cells. So I became really passionate about it, and I started doing it for cosmetic purposes, and I was looking at my patients where I was doing the stem cells to their face, where I just injected and not cut them, and you can see the transformation. But that transformation, if you look at the timeline, that's 1 month. In 1 month, you don't get a cellular transformation. It's not the cells that did this change. What changed here in her skin is what the cells produce. That's what I understood from looking at these patients. And I said, if the cells are producing something, if the stem cells are producing something that's making that change, then let's go find out what it is. So I opened up my lab and I started studying stem cells and what they produce and what they do in the laboratory. And basically, we realized that stem cells communicate through chemicals. We use language, right? I'm speaking through my mouth, I'm using my hands, my gestures, my expressions. And cells have the same thing. They have different ways of communicating, different ways of talking to each other. And the cells communicate through different ways, like they can have communication that affects themselves. They can have, like if I scratch my head, the cells can do the same thing. If I have 2 cells talking to each other, if they're touching each other, or if they're just communicating. These are different ways. And hormones are communicating in your body through the bloodstream. But the cells are communicating with each other through the space in between those cells. So when you can communicate and you know what those communication includes, you can actually figure out what they're saying to one another. And that's really what we discovered in our laboratory. We discovered the chemical language of stem cells. And we'll repeat it because it's very important. We discovered the chemical language of stem cells. And we know that they use different languages, and we now understand what those languages do for the most part. And they include cytokines, and liposomes, and exosomes, peptides, and all these great words that some of you may know, some of you may not know. But all of these things are coming together to have an effect on other cells. Because once you do release this language in the cell, the other cells are talking to each other. It's a dialogue that's going on in your body. It's not a one-way conversation like we're having now. It's a dialogue. So the cells are communicating with one another, and they're saying different things. So sometimes you need to have the skin is damaged and you need to repair it. So it's doing a wound repair language. Sometimes the skin color is different, so it says, hey, clear up the discoloration. Detoxify the skin. Inflammation, remove the inflammation. So it really tries to balance it and bring balance to the cells through that language. So knowing that knowledge, we developed advanced polypeptide technology, which is using that stem cell language to affect the change in your skin. Advanced polypeptide technology uses the universal language of stem cells. Every being, everything that's alive has stem cells. Plants have stem cells because they're growing and they need to heal and they need to sort of replenish themselves. Humans have it, animals have it, everybody has stem cells. And that language that they speak, amazingly, it's universal. They all speak the same language. The cells are different, but the language is the same. And then we realize one other thing that's very important. Just like where we are changes how we look and how we act, the cells do the same thing. The environment that the cells are in changes it. So if we were to put the cells in one language, it will change their environment and they will act differently. And that is a very important thing, because if we can bring that environment to a good place, then the cell will get it more in balance and you'll be healthier and you'll have less aging. Okay, so let's talk about the basics of APT. APT, Advanced Polypeptide Technology. Everything in your body is made from amino acids. So amino acids, when they come together, they make polypeptides. And polypeptides make proteins. And these things, I'm going to show it to you if I can. There we go. So amino acids come together to make polypeptides, and polypeptides make proteins. And the proteins are the structures. So if you have those collagen, it's a protein. These things are what builds us. And I'm just going to show it to you in a graph manner so you understand it. So you have amino acids, individual dots. When they come together, they make these peptides. And when you have multiple peptides come together, you have polypeptides. And then you make the proteins. Basically, this is what is in our products. So this is the language of the stem cells that's coming. And here's a sample of a test we did on what the cells have produced. And you can see it's hundreds of them. Hundreds and hundreds of peptides are in there. So let's talk about how we actually created the Luminous products and the use of the APT in it. So APT beta is really the novel approach to skincare. nobody's really done this before. And still, there's no company in the world that has this technology the way we have it, and it is exclusive to Bellavita. And the Luminous products are really unique in that they have this technology. So I'm going to tell you these important information because I want to make sure you understand. There are no stem cells in the product. Again, there are no stem cells in the product. The product contains the language of the stem cells. They contain polypeptides. There is no animal product. It doesn't have parabens. It doesn't have things that cause your skin to break out. It doesn't irritate. There's no chemicals, harsh chemicals. There's no hydroquinone in our products. There's no products in there that cause you to be sensitive to the sun. So this is a very unique approach to skincare. And what it does, not only it's a unique approach to skincare in that it doesn't have all those harsh things, but it has all the benefits in that it addresses the entire causes of aging, which we talked about before, oxidation and glycation and UV rays. This actually addresses all of them. So you don't need 10 products to do the same thing that this one does. So this is a very important thing to understand. And once we made the products, we did clinical tests. We took it and we gave it to a company that is a third party, not me, who does a lot of testing. This is in my clinic. One of the patients used it only on one hand. After a month, she comes back and she goes, look at the difference after 1 month. I go, great. Now go use it on the other hand, on your face, your neck, so it all matches. But this is the power of this product. If you go and use anti-aging products that are out there, Kosa talked about La Mer or other things out there, you would have to use it at least 3 months to 4 months before you see anything. Here, within a month, you see amazing changes. And in the study that we did, we saw more than 85% reduction in wrinkles within 2 months. This was less than 2 months we saw this study. Then they looked at the pigment count to see how many of the discoloration in the skin, how much pigment would get reduced. And within 2 months, over 60% reduction. These are incredible numbers. Because you can only continue to get better while you're using it. So within 2 months, you can get such results. In 6 months, you get even better results. And these are sort of the examples of the patients that did the study. You can see the analysis they did on the computer, looking at the depth of the wrinkles. And then here's another example showing the deep wrinkles. And then you can see the luminescence effect. So luminescence means how your skin gets brighter. Because as you age and the skin becomes out of balance, it sort of becomes dull. The texture changes. The first thing you want to see is that texture is getting better and the balance is coming back and your skin gets brighter and more luminescent. And here's 4 weeks, you can see the improvements. This is an example of that test that they did. Within 4 weeks, it improved like almost 200%. But one of the most amazing things that we found doing this study was that 100% of the people who participated in the study said they would use the product and they would give it to their friends and family. I've never seen that in any study we've done, which is amazing to me. And all of them saw their skin improve and they felt that it was smoother and better and younger looking and with great significant numbers, over 80%. So we've tested it in-house and we tested it third party, but the best ones I got was from people who actually used it and when I met you guys and you showed me the pictures, I'm always amazed. Here's people who shared their before and afters with me. You can see like the amazing changes that you see within a few days, a few weeks, a few months. This is 2 weeks. She was showing me the changes and how much the skin just improved. Here is another one that shows the wrinkles. This is even in young people. When we talk about skin balance, it's not just when you age, when you're 50 or 60 years old. This is a young person, and she still has skin imbalance, and the skin is not as smooth. As soon as she used it, the skin started to become smoother. We talked about that first change you will see in the skin. So this is the softening of the skin and making everything even and healthy, bringing that balance back to the skin. The neck is one of the hardest areas to treat, and you can see the improvement in 2 months. It's a dramatic change. Even with surgery, we can't get really those kind of changes that fast. And then here, I met this guy in Australia. He shows me this picture. I'm like, what? How much? Did you do anything? Did you do any lasers? Did you do any treatment? He goes, no, it's just the product. And he shows me the results after 50 days. And you can see like a lot of improvement in the skin texture and the smoothness of the skin, and everything gets more useful. Here's the brightening effect that we talked about, how the skin gets dull and irregular, and you can see the improvement after 2 months. But what I really want to talk about, I went too fast, is what Kosagara has really dedicated to bringing you guys, and I'm going to talk about all the products and why it's the next generation. He's invested a lot of money, and he's really all in on this technology. So I'm going to bring you the next generation of APT, which is APT Vita. And APT Vita is really the most upgraded form of our technology. So it's the upgrade from 2009 to now. So what is the superiority of this product? We talked about balance, replenishing what's missing, because you need the resources for your skin to get better, and then you need to protect it. And that's what APT Vita does in all the categories that we talked about. And also, all the categories that we have, we didn't really have them with the older version. So this has anti-senescence. It helps the entire gamut of aging process. And then what I want to show you is the improvement over the last technology. So when we started with the APT 200, that's on the orange. That's where we were. And all the blue line is all the improvement over that original one. So we got amazing results with the original one. And now we've got 200% more of the compounds that are useful and beneficial for you in the product. So you have different categories of compounds. Compounds that I told you, every language is telling your body to do a different thing. So the compounds here are saying, this is anti-aging, this is for inflammation, this is for improving collagen, this is for improving elastin, this is for the telomeres, this is for skin brightening, this is for the senescence. Each one of those things, you can see how much improvement you have. You have over 200% improvement in some of them. And the numbers on the top is the number of compounds that actually do that. So if you go and buy a company that is, selling you a product out there, they'll tell you they have one compound in there that's doing it. Here we have hundreds of compounds that are doing those things in a synergistic way. This is not anything that you can buy in any store. This is unique to us. So let's talk about like the antioxidant effects. So when you have oxidation, we show you the breakdown of the cells, like the apple gets withered. You want to block that. You want to put the resources in the skin to block that oxidation effect. And you can see that the APT Vita, we have 55 more compounds in here than the older one that does just that. This is 100 times more efficient, 100 times more effective than vitamin C. This is a true change in the skincare industry. And all those things that we're doing is really working together in a synergistic manner. And we're going to talk about things about synergy because that's all that we want to do from the outside in and from the inside out. And Dr. Jim Papa is going to bring tomorrow and talk about from the inside out. So ABT Vita also has the anti-inflammatory effect. So we know inflammation is a major cause of disease, it's a major cause of aging, it's a major cause of things breaking down and not being healthy. So what we want to do is really address that. And you have here 56 compounds that are fighting that over what we had in the old one. And it really is probably the most important thing we can do to prevent the skin to age, prevent the skin from becoming unhealthy and unbalanced. And we want to really get that to be in a very good place. So the other thing we talked about was senescence. So we have 19 compounds that do senescence. Most companies that talk about senescence, they may have one compound that they talk about it. Here we have 19 compounds that address just that thing, so they're not lazy. So this is, we're talking about building network and having teams, this is it. All right, so the overall anti-aging effect is really amazing because when you put all that together, you get hydration, you get the balance, you get the improvements in the skin. So once you put all those in the skin, you set off sort of like a domino effect where they all talk to each other and the cells start to get replenished and you get to see the changes on the skin. So the wrinkles get better, the skin texture gets better, the pigment gets better, and once you see that, you know that that's working. And this is just some samples. I want to show you what those things look like, those compounds that we talked about, these peptides. This is how they look in an illustration. So the other thing we want to talk about is the actual products. I can get to go. Right? There we go. The other thing that the product is unique in is that it is working on all skin types because the language in here, the ABT data, is universal language of cells. So if you put it on all skin colors and all skin types and all skin areas, so if you put it on your hand or you put it on your neck, the body knows what to do with it. It understands what that language is and it uses it to benefit it. And then we need to do proper skincare. So there's 3 steps to doing proper skincare. One is to clean and prep. So we're going to talk about that. Then you want to revitalize the skin, and then you want to moisturize it and protect it. The first step is to actually use the youth restoring cleanser to take off the pollutants, to take off the dirt that accumulates on your skin, to take off the excess oils without drying you, and to open up the pores, to bring the pH of the skin back to the right pH so it's healthier, and to prepare it really to put the APT on. So if you want to do this morning and night, this is the first thing you should do when you're doing your skincare. The first thing you do is you wash your face. So this is morning and night. Then you want to actually use the cellular rejuvenation serum. This should be the first thing that goes onto your skin after you clean it. The first thing that goes onto your skin is the rejuvenation serum, and this one, it has the most of the APT Vita in it. 85% of this product is stem cell technology, is those APT. No product says they have 85% in it. If you go and you buy a product from some company, they'll tell you they got 1%, they got 0.5%, they got 5%, we got 85% in here. And you want to do this morning and night. First thing, after you wash your face. Morning and night, this is the first thing that goes on. If there's one product you can afford to buy and use, this is the product. Then you want to lock it in. You want to protect the skin. So the first thing in the morning is you want to protect it from the sun rays, you want to moisturize. So the SPF 30 in here is going to protect you from 98% of the sun rays. And actually, you can see the first studies on UVA protection, and it just needs 30%. That's 98. If you go to put a lot more chemicals in there, you'll get to, 99, but you don't need to do that. 98%, sun protection rays will protect you for 2 hours if you're in the sun. If you're in the sun for longer than 2 hours, you want to reapply this and keep doing that. You're going to be out in the sun most of the day. Even the days there is no sun and the days that you're in front of your computer, you want to put this on because all of those lights are still affecting you. Computer lights, your incandescent lights, all these things are still causing our skin to age. So you want to protect it every day. And this is a very light moisturizer. It has a lot of other things in here that work in conjunction with the other products. So all the product lines need to work together. They have what we call synergy, where 1 + 1 = 3. You math. So 1 + 1 = 3 is because when you add the moisturizer that has the vitamins, that has the moisturizer, that has the UV protection, plus the APT, you get something more than just APT by itself. And then you want to use the essential body renewal. You want to put that on your, after you shower, you come out, you put it on your skin. It has vitamins, minerals, APT Vita, of course, and it's hydrating. And you want to do that, after you shower, just dab your skin dry and put the body renewal on, and it will help moisturize. If you're dry, you can obviously reapply it during the day. At night, you want to use the advanced night repair. This has a little bit more richer consistency, so it's a little thicker. If you're dry and you want to get more moisturization, you can even use this during the day. And you want to put this on, and it has a lot of benefits that increases that anti-glycation that we talked about. So this is the symbol for the anti-glycation is in this product. And then I'm just going to tell you how to use it because we want to make sure everybody knows how to use it. We want to use, what's the first thing we do? We wash our skin. Use the restoring cleanser. First thing that goes on after that is the cellular rejuvenation serum. The serum goes on clean skin. And then after that, put on the moisturizer in the morning, and then at night you use the advanced night repair, and then you use the body lotion, the body renewal, all over your skin. And then I want to just ask you guys, because you're so wonderful, and you really give me the passion to go and create and renew. I want you to share these or your stories of what drives you. Seeing these pictures somebody like this who comes says to me, this is me and this is my mother, and I have to ask her, wait, did you do anything else? Did you go to cosmetic treatment? Did you get any laser? Did you do filler, Botox? She says, no, I just used your product for 6 weeks. And this is the picture and this is the result. And we're doing something right. But I need you to share those stories with me. So if you do it, please share it with me. This is my email. And I appreciate all of you. I'm humbled to be here. And I look forward to growing this company together and bringing this knowledge and this great technology to benefit everybody. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up once again for Dr.